Good morning, rise and grind. It's time again for Wake and Bake with the Groskies. I'm here, you're here, we're here together, and it feels really, really good to be doing a Wake and Bake.
We're the Brady Bunch. Let's all look at each other in our squares.
Dun, 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 dun.
We all talked about everything we were going to talk about during the show. So chat, we're all out of things to talk about.
Yeah, I hope you brought some
Wrap,
questions
man.
or something.
Like
Just
usual,
hard.
we did the pre-show a little bit long, and Skilgo told us everything about his trip, so he can't do that again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, we can.
Nah, we good. Man.
Repeat.
We are glad to be back.
We're glad to have you guys back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look who it is. It's Skill.
Yeah.
He's
I
back.
know, man. We've been jet setting around, like I keep saying. Sequence has been going for work. I've been going for family. And I just want to give everybody a shout out for holding it down while we've been gone. The show has been great. And keeping the community fucking entertained.
special thanks to Painted Lady for hosting these things, keeping the show on the road while we've been busy. She's our other administrator besides Skilbo and I, and handled everything, kept it all going.
You're welcome.
Thank
Trained
you.
up by the master.
The master
That's
himself.
great.
You know,
The show
it's
must
an-
go on.
Elmer Fudd himself.
you're a pro at it now. You've been doing it with us, especially for like the late session shit for, how many times? It's just boom, boom. You're running things.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Welcome back, you guys. It's nice
Yeah.
to have you back finally and tell us all about your travels, both of you guys. Like, I know Sequence met up with another Groski in New Jersey, so I'm sure he'd like to talk about that a little bit. And
I met up with two Groskis in New Jersey.
Oh wow.
two.
Damn.
Out there in Josie, I was training for work. I got 95% on my final exam.
Woo!
Congratulations, brother. Very
Fully
good. Very good.
trained. Super excited. We're celebrating Scobo and I coming back by having a Wake and Bake, the first one in a month or two. So
For a
A
minute.
gap
Yeah.
of wake and bakes.
appreciate all you guys showing up and hanging out with us this morning.
It's
We're
that notifications, man.
We're baking on our triple X.
Holy shit, I'm so baked, you guys. So if I sound like an idiot, it's Ethos's fault because man, I don't know. We got bubbles out too this morning. We don't normally smoke out of bubbles.
Is
So
that got a
this is the difference in
can you bring bubbles closer so we can see that?
it's really dirty right now, which I'm
It's
very
okay.
embarrassed
It's all right.
about
It's a
because
working
I don't
bong.
like it. But
Okay. Let's see that work on the top.
I mean, really, it's only dirty because we were just smoking out of it.
Nice.
and it's got a little pink top.
There you go.
Oh, usually we have a ash. What do they call that thing?
Ash catcher.
Yeah,
Catcher.
an ass catcher. Ass catcher, I like to call it.
Mhm.
So you got a
That's
mini
me.
Ripperton.
Definitely
and
helps
then
keep it clean.
That's me.
that's me.
But yeah, so we got bubbles out and I'm fucking ripped. I see that we have some stuff down there too. That's not good. But
Mhm.
anyway, so would you like to tell your
That
story?
ash catcher.
Sure. So I met up with a couple Jersey guys. Crackled Finish was the guy that ended up taking me with his girlfriend, and their Jersey accents all around. We went to this
Super thick?
brewery here.
I would have loved it so much. I would have been talking Jim Tan and laundry all night.
It was a lot like that.
Laundry.
It's really fun. We went around to breweries and got to drink a bunch of interesting beer, and they showed me the town, and I had a Groski drop off edibles, flour, mushrooms, all sorts of
Hell
shit.
yes.
Storeroom. They
Very,
helped
very
me out
nice.
with flour and stuff. I know that you were talking in the pre-show, Scobo, about going up to Washington and getting some dispensary stuff. It's always nice. I've been able to travel around, and everywhere I've went, I've been able to meet some Groskis or take my own stuff. And I've gotten to try a bunch of stuff that people have grown. I've gotten to see grows all over the country. I got to see a grow in Atlanta. I got to see a grow in Jersey.
Oh fuck yeah, man.
That's
You know,
awesome.
yeah, exactly. These guys are like, man, you're so brave. You're getting into my car. And I'm like, just don't chop me up into pieces. And then
Yeah. Be cool and I'll be cool, man.
they take me to their house.
I'll be cool.
Yeah. It is really wild to think that we created a show, right, where I could meet a random stranger
Just go to any
And
city.
just go
and
get
then
free. Yeah, just go
They
smoke. with
drive
them.
you to their house and show you their completely illegal grow, and then give you
total
some.
faith.
You know what though? I have more respect, and I know this sounds bad and kind of outlaw, but I have more respect for someone who will grow when they're not allowed to, where they're not allowed
Sure.
to, in order to have medicine and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a lot of respect for you for that, man.
Well, and these guys went way out of their way to like hang out with me. So
It's 'cause you're
from their
cool,
houses,
man.
both respectively, like one was 45 minutes and one was an hour.
Mm,
You're talking like an hour and a half, 2 hour round trip
right.
just to deliver me something or just to hang out. So it was really an honor. And we spent a whole night. We were out drinking until bar close, which in Jersey was like 11 o'clock.
And can you tell us again what you got on your test and then how you did that? How did you
Yeah,
get a
no shit.
95% if you're out there fucking throwing down?
Dude, I had a
partying,
hangover.
crashing with people, man. out there?
I had a hangover
It's that massive brain capacity, Skilbo.
Friday morning. I had a hangover
It's
and I
big
took
brain
my
time.
final and got 95%. I got one question out of 20 wrong. So I did really well.
Hey, those 20 question tests will fuck you up real quick, man.
Mhm.
You can't get too many wrong in those.
Yeah.
I have never failed a class, but it's happened. And if I had to come back and spend another few $1,000s of company money, they wouldn't be very happy about that.
No. No.
I would have fallen asleep during that test,
Just to prove a point.
just like I did my ACD.
That's how I did my ASVAB.
Oops.
Skilbo, how was your trip? You want to explain to us anything that you did?
I flew out to Washington State for 2 weeks. And I stayed with my daughter, and she gave birth to my granddaughter. And she is a perfectly healthy and, dare I say, like a perfect baby. Because everybody thinks that the baby that is their baby is awesome and shit. But
Well, they all think that they're cute. Is it a cute baby or not?
I'll tell you a quick story. So on Friday night, I'm sitting in the
This
hospital.
means no.
I'm sitting in the hospital room, right? And this nurse comes in. She's super, super nice, and she's talking to us, and we're talking to her. And she says, a lot of times when I come into people's room and I tell their babies that they're, I want to say something nice, I'll be like, oh, wow, look at their hair. Oh, they have the cutest nose. Or, oh, is it, whatever it may be. She says, but I'm actually telling you, you have a gorgeous baby. And so, now maybe that's her shtick too. Maybe she tells that story to everybody that
I bet she does.
that we all feel good.
She's like a car salesman. She's so
But,
full of shit.
Yep.
But it's post sale, bro. The sale is already done at this point. There's no going back season.
Yeah.
We get the pink slip on this one.
That's true.
She's just that good-hearted lady sending everybody off with a smile.
Positive vibes.
and that's
Yeah.
the thing is everyone at the hospital, I would give them a shout out because they were super, super nice to us.
That's awesome.
And that makes all the difference. You know what I mean? You don't want to have a stressed out mom or a stressed out patient. You want to make things smooth and easy for them.
Mhm.
So it's much, much better to do it with a smile than a frown.
So
Yes.
I was going to ask you who had their diaper changed first, the baby or you, the grandpa?
That's wrong.
I'm not getting paid to give Depends a fucking free plug on the show, bro. We gotta come with the checks first before, we'll go from there.
No shout
No,
outs.
we're not yet.
So you're not sponsored yet. I got you.
There's been talk. There's been some phone calls. They're people, my people.
That's awesome.
Now, one thing is, and anybody that watches the show knows for a while, is that I'm a big fucking nature nerd. Like, not that I'm smart about it, but that I'm enthralled by it. And like going to Washington State, I've been all over the world. And I told my wife, I said, Germany was amazing, but Washington State and going to these old growth forests, seeing these, Pacific red cedars and just being blown away by the conifers out there. All I did, it was cool. We would go to a park, it'd be pouring rain. I would jump out of the car real quick. I'd run over and I'd take a picture of something. If you went, checking my Instagram, shout out to you guys for showing it off on the late session. And then run back in and then go somewhere else. And the amount of moss and lichen, algae, and everything that's just like the forest is so alive.
Mhm.
That totally renewing. And I was lucky enough. We went to Aberdeen, Washington, which was really cool for me because I'm a longtime Nirvana fan. So we went to like the Kurt Cobain Park, which is kind of ironic. You know, there's like a big stone guitar and everybody signed it. Very Jim Morrison,
That's
you know,
cool.
Pearl Shea thing.
Yeah, it is awesome.
But
Yeah.
it's because it's underneath the bridge. It's along the banks. There's a Nirvana album called From the Muddy Banks of the Wishkah. And the Wishkah is the river. And the irony of it is that when he was younger, he used to sit underneath this bridge and they used to bang dope underneath there. So it's become kind of like a place that people want to go. What are they fucking pilgrimage? There you go. There's my term. So we went down there. It was really cool. And I went to, it's called the North Jetty. Now, this is like really fucking cool because it's the mighty Pacific Ocean. Now, I've been on both sides of the Atlantic, and the Atlantic's cool, right? But it's rocky as shit. Being on this North Jetty side is where this beach is. I was just blown away by, you see a wave coming in, right? And you're like 60 fucking feet from the goddamn, you know, the edge of the water. And then when it comes in, it just keeps coming. And it was cool for me to be able to stand there and just, you know, watch the seagulls above fly by, watch the spray coming off the rocks on this other side of the jetty. Really, really renewed my my battery. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get run down. Sometimes, you know, life will start to get to you and shit. And a little trip or a little travel sequence, you're talking about being able to meet up with Groskis. I felt bad because I was actually about as close as I'm ever going to be to where Uncle Rick is up there, you know, by Vancouver. But, you know, I couldn't.
I didn't realize that's where Uncle Rick was up there.
Yeah, he's way
That's
over
cool.
there. Yeah, that's the west side.
It sucks, man. The government won't give you a passport and all that since the accident.
This is part of the NDA, man.
You know what's interesting to note is like you went to Washington, you get to see all the beautiful life and stuff. I've flown into Michigan a few times now in November and December, and the difference it must be to fly out of Washington with all the green trees and stuff, and then fly into dead ass Michigan in November.
Right.
I always, when we're flying in, I'm like, man, this looks terrible compared to
Everything's
wherever I
slowly just fading away.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was like 41 and 42 and 43, and it would like rain. Not every day. I don't want to make it sound like it's just perpetually raining. There were a couple of nice sunny days that I got out and really walked. But it was like 66 degrees when I landed in Detroit at around midnight, which is funny because I came through the same fucking airport sequence, flew through New Jersey, and then I flew through like 3 days later. But mine was just like an hour and a half stay over. But it sounds like I really missed out. I should have tried to stretch like a 10-hour layover there and try to meet up with some folks.
Man, I didn't like the New Jersey airport.
No.
I told everybody there, I was like, this airport is one step above Mexico's airport.
Well, when I flew out, I flew through Chicago first. So I went Detroit to Chicago to Seattle.
Yeah.
Chicago's airport.
Yeah, Detroit's airport is like top notch. You don't even have to walk in the airport. There's moving walkways everywhere. It just kind of floats you around like you're in Wall-E.
They know the
You go to the New Jersey airport and it's like you gotta walk everywhere and do all the manual labor, and it's all laid out weird. I don't know.
I haven't flown through Philadelphia in 30 years, but 30 years ago, back when both the world and I were young, that was my least favorite fucking airport because of how sprawled out it was.
The Atlanta one is really sprawled out, but they have like trains to take.
They get the trains they go through there. Yeah, I flew through there several times. Hell, I flew through there the day that I met Sequence at the Kushstock thing. I had to fly down to Georgia. So like I left there, went back to my house, grabbed my bags, jumped on and flew down to
Damn.
I've never even been on a plane.
Damn, you gotta get that one, Porch.
Hey, I ain't getting on no plane, Hannibal. So you got that certain milk at them or switch sandwiches.
My daughter just flew for the first time like a day or two ago, and she flew to Vegas. She took a bunch of pictures out the window of the airplane. I asked her how she liked it, and she said she enjoyed it a lot. I took video and pictures and stuff of my flight, into Jersey of the, New York City and the skyline and all the lights and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, that's so pretty." So she got to take some of the same pictures. So I was happy for her.
That stadium picture you had was pretty badass from up there.
Yeah, and I had almost no time, like
Jets.
with the angle of the plane and then where the engine was versus the window. I had like a half a second to take that picture, and I saw it and I pulled it up and it
You
was
got
like
it.
all blurry, and I'm like, focus, and it wouldn't. And I'm like, fuck.
Get it, right?
And then I
Yeah.
finally got it. But I'd never seen a NFL stadium from the
Oh,
sky.
yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
It's cool that
MetLife,
they lit it
of
up.
course, the home of the New York Giants and the New York Jets, and it's famously in New Jersey because there are a bunch of frauds in New York.
Damn.
Yeah,
Ooh.
put their stadium in New Jersey. They call themselves New York teams.
There you
Coming in
go.
hot.
Hopefully, you won't be flying into New York City anytime
They're waiting for you at the
long
gates.
from the great
We-
state. Yeah.
We almost went to New York City on
It's just
Tuesday.
it's right there.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's like a 30-minute drive from where I was.
That's
That
not
would have been sweet. New York is fun.
I've still never been, so
Yeah.
it's not high on my priority list because the hustle and bustle of being in cities, as someone from Michigan, where it's nice and slow.
Just don't go to New York City.
Right.
New York
got
is
to go to
like a lot of
Manhattan.
mountains and it's very beautiful, except for one small part of it.
Right.
I like Chicago way better than New York.
Oh, I hate Chicago.
Oh,
So
Orange.
busy. I can't do busy cities. Like Kalamazoo to me is like,
that the limits of what you can.
when I go to Lansing, it's like shit.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I can't do big cities. I've
We
been in like a
come from an
small
area where
town
there-
my whole life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Porch, that's like me saying I hate Miatas.
Ooh.
That's an opinion, you know. You're allowed to do that.
Oh, he took the high road with you on that.
You'd be
see?
wrong, but you're allowed to be wrong.
I mean, everybody can be wrong, but some of us
Chicago
are right.
is so fantastic for a big city to be so clean. It's so clean, and
People are laughing out there at you right now. I'm sure.
It's 'cause
I
the
grew
way
up
You haven't
in
been around
Victoria,
that.
and it was like, whoo.
there's everything to do. They have all the seasons. There's the lake right there. You gotta
Fucking
go.
confusing is what it is.
You don't have to go downtown. Like go to the neighborhoods. Like I used to live in Lincoln Park, and that was the man. I only had to walk across the street to Delilah's. I was all set, and then I could ride my bike down and play beach volleyball by the lake.
What is Delilah's?
Summertime.
Yes, I don't know what a Delilah's is.
Porch, my advice to enjoying a town or a city like Chicago and New York is don't drive.
Right.
So
Take the bus.
find a way to have someone else drive, either pay for it
Because
or
parking is a
or
nightmare.
walk.
Yeah.
And you'll enjoy it a lot more if you're not enjoying all the stress of driving around.
Yep. See, I'm
How much
driving
do you
down
want
to
for parking
Florida in
structure?
10 days. And then
You're going down in 10 days?
yep, we're gonna drive down to Florida next Sunday.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Safe travels, man.
And then I
Where?
rent a golf cart. I rent a golf
Okay.
cart and I park the Jeep and I don't touch it for 10 more days.
Okay, so let's do this then. Let's put out a hootie hoo. In what area of Florida are you going to be in?
Yeah,
Treasure
we are.
Island. Treasure Island.
Treasure
Where's
Island.
that?
St. Pete area.
Okay.
Sean,
South
the east or
Tampa.
west coast?
That's the Gulf.
It's the west
Tampa.
side.
Okay.
Golf.
Tampa, St.
Yep,
Pete.
on the golf.
Surely Baked knows somebody down there that can help you out.
Oh, he has to.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know a couple people up in
Ah.
Tampa.
He's a complete degenerate. So
Well, I can't call my parents. They're no help.
They can't score a bag down there to save their life.
They
huh?
don't. They don't.
They should
I'll be
be.
driving down with a. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but I'll have some.
I'm going empty-handed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
That a boy.
Come meet me on the beach.
that's the
Okay.
only advantage to driving over flying.
That's why I drive. I can
Yeah.
have a
Always drive.
40 joints
Just look for them porch
ready
phones.
to go.
Ooh, hey, I don't know what gas prices are along the way, but fucking gas prices out in Washington were like $5.55.
Well, I
Woo.
drive a diesel, so I'm used to paying $5.35. So
Diesel was
you're
like
taking the
$7.
Jeep, it'll be like, all right.
Everywhere I've ever went for work, gas has been cheaper than here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, Georgia for sure, yeah.
Georgia,
Everywhere I go, it's cheaper,
Chicago.
except for
all
West.
here.
Not on the
I
west
think
coast.
Chicago's
Yeah.
cheaper though. I would think that Chicago would be more expensive.
Chicago
Well,
is not cheaper.
I
Not in
wasn't-
the city.
Yeah, I wasn't in Chicago. I was in the burbs, so it was cheaper.
Okay. Yeah,
But
don't
yeah,
fall for that first gas station off the exit on the freeway, right? That's always the one that's going to hose you for like an extra dime.
Yeah, what they call Fuel Town here in Indiana is always more expensive. Just like go anywhere
Fuel
else.
Town.
Yeah, go anywhere else.
Yep.
It used to be cheap.
Well, we've done. How long have we been going? We've been going for 20 minutes, and we haven't talked shit about fucking cannabis. Which I guess is kind of the
We can
way
start.
We talked about being baked.
Yeah.
we did talk about being.
Well, I was in Jersey. Painted Lady cleaned up the grow room, and
Got some weeds trimmed up.
yeah,
Oh no, I didn't.
No, wait a minute. What was that you were holding up?
Triple X.
Triple X.
Mhm.
Triple X. Okay.
I mean, it's not anything really showy, but it's fucking tasty and yummy.
I
And
gotta decide.
it's a good daytime, I think. Don't you think?
yeah, I really like it.
What's the terps on it?
It's like a lemon lime,
Ooh,
nice, refreshing smoke. It's not like a heavy.
It's like Sprite.
I got the same thing over here. I'm smoking on Citrique Red's Cut.
Yum.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to decide between a few different ethos autos to pop.
Ooh, which ones are those? The
Yeah,
Well,
Banana Daddy.
I've got OG Kush, Pluto Cut, and the Sweet, and then I've also got this Lilac Diesel auto.
Ooh.
Ooh, Lilac Diesel is one of my favorites.
Yeah, but you know what though? That Pluto cut has been around for a long time, and that OG Kush one, so that would also be worth
Yep.
maybe pulling a bean or two out of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really think I want to run the OG Kush next
That a boy.
because I've
Well,
got a
speaking of-
92 OG Cut.
Oh
Now
yeah,
I've got a
speaking
92 OG auto.
92 OG.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Ethos one, nice.
Nice. That's cool.
Is that a 5-pack or a 10-pack?
these are 10 packs.
Nice, even better.
Yeah, I like to run autos consistently, so I'm always popping them in cycle.
Hmm
You still liking your bloom?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to wait for this photo period tent to finish up. Autos are too variable to try to compare. So I decided just to throw it all in my photo period tent and see how that's because I've been running the same strains for like 3 years, so I'll definitely know a difference.
Swamp sticks.
Swamp Six has got it. The Grateful Breath has got it heavy, so it definitely tightened up the node spacing on everything that was super lanky. So
Well, that's
I'll
nice,
definitely
especially
give it
for
that
indoor.
hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are you basically getting off of these autos indoors, if you don't mind me asking?
I haven't really weighed them in a while.
Okay, you thinking
But,
2 ounces or
yeah,
4?
at least 2 to 3 ounces per plant.
Okay.
Yep. I went to a smaller 3-gallon pot for this Ogreberry, the
Okay,
Ogreberry
so
Chronicles.
Yours survived and mine didn't. I fucked mine up in the popping stage. What do you
Mine-
getting? What do you want to talk about that?
Dude, mine germinated. Like I put them in water with just a
Mhm.
touch of peroxide in it, and
Okay.
they had
Seed
tap
wash.
roots in the water. None of them sank. They had tap roots in the water within 24 hours. All 5 of them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
mine
fucking
popped
blown
easy.
away. Yep. So then I planted them all. 3 of them took off pretty good. 2 of them were runts. The one runt took off. It ended up catching up, and then one of them just grew like this really fucking chonker bud, just one chonk
Nice.
fucking nug. And then the other ones grew up. They all put off 2-3 ounces.
That's how
Turned
that
out really
nose
good. They
candy was.
smell though. The smell of them is just like this sour berry. I don't know. It's really some of them
That
smell
sounds good.
rotten, and some of them smell super sweet.
Nice.
Hey, I
I'm
wanna
really
give a
excited.
Give a shout out to 2020 Mendocino as the breeder on that.
Yeah.
They also are the ones that everything that I ran outdoors this year was from 2020. Being gone for 2 weeks, one of the best parts about it is I actually harvested, I think it was the 23rd or the 24th of September, which sounds ridiculously fucking early, right? But the thing was that a lot of the things from there, they had the September rain series shit, and all that shit was supposed to be done around then, and it pretty much was. So I got everything hung and dried, and everything went into a jar the night before I left. So I was gone for 2 weeks. I came back, and when I opened these jars, I was like, oh yeah, man. I like missed out on the whole early stages of like, do I want to get into this yet? Do I want to start
Right.
fucking with this? So now it's like, I'm straight.
Hell
Damn.
yeah.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah, man. This is some fucking
You
this
see a
is
stickiness on it.
the Snow G. Yeah. And I think, I've tried to think of like what my favorite thing is out of these so far. And even though I have the smell of success, which is really a nice kind of a funky strawberry going on with it, this Snow G is the one that like satisfying smoke.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I give it up to 2020, man. This Trizzler's auto, this one here.
Yeah.
This is the
That's the auto race
strongest,
last year. Yeah.
strongest fucking auto flower I've ever grown, dude. That thing knocked me on my ass.
Really?
Yep. Had a good yield too. It's pretty squat, like most autos, but dude, the potency on it was loved it.
Autos are perfect for like I wanted to bring up what you're doing, growing hobby style for just your own stuff. It
Yeah, just
did a
fucking
good
around.
variety in jars and yeah, keep
Yep.
them.
Yeah, constantly have new flavors so I can run the same photos,
Mm-hmm. I like it. Of course, we got into this topic by me mentioning what I was going to do in my grow, and Porch and Skilbo completely took over. So I wanted to
Go ahead, talk about yourself.
good God, and mention that while I was in Jersey, Painted Lady cleaned the grow room and got it all set up so that I could start some plants in there. And I'm really, really excited. We haven't decided all the stuff you guys have decided, what strains. We have decided strains, but not necessarily how many plants are going to be in there and all of that stuff yet. So
Should we revisit our strains?
we're looking.
You don't even remember them, do you?
Yeah, it was the Las Vegas Lemon Skunk, the Brandon Rust's
Granny Skunk,
Granny Skunk, but then the
Limarilla,
Limarilla.
or Limelight.
It was Limarilla.
Okay.
I don't remember the rest, but
And then weren't we doing Cherry Crescendo from
Yeah.
Ethos? Did I pick another one? Or was that my other pick? I don't know. But yeah. And he's, I told him to have at it. This is like, he can go for it and do things how he wants to do it. And this will be his run. So
Are you guys going to
Jacks
like
or
tag
Bloom?
team it where like the next run is going to be yours or his, or you're just like,
or maybe just like a combo or something, but I just really enjoy growing outdoors, and so he's really excited about doing the indoor thing, and I think that it would be nice to have him do his own thing and go back, get back to growing and doing what he loves to do. So
So you're gonna be
yeah,
running
it'll be a
jacks?
nice trade for
That's it.
both of us, because
Right.
I kind of need a little break for a minute, and yeah. And
you know what
he's-
I want to know is, do you have any of those triple X seeds left to run outdoors next year?
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, I do, because I think they came in the multi-pass that
Mhm.
I was given last year. I think one of the drops. I have a cat here. Sorry. And then yeah. And then Colin sent me some too. On a side note, I just kind of got a hold of him when I was going to do the commercial grow. I contacted him and asked him what I should run in the commercial facility, and he sent me Triple X. So yeah, so I was stoked to run those, and maybe we'll end up running those indoors. Yeah, to taste the difference, because man, I can only imagine what it would be like indoors with the frost and everything. Probably
Right.
would be added, I'm sure. It's a lot of trichomes and stuff, and so yeah, that's a great one. If anybody's out there with that, Noob, what did you think? Did you grow that one? I can't remember.
He commented on the Las Vegas Lemon Skunk. He said it's a beast.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Probably after this run, Skilbo will probably be another outdoor run. 'Cause
Oh,
if
yeah.
you figure like a month, maybe 40 days to pop seeds and then veg and then flower for a couple of months, we'll be back into the springtime and thinking about that. So we probably won't run another indoor one after this one
Right.
until fall again.
Make your
Well,
own
it'll give you time to get it together.
cocktail.
I'm
What's
sorry,
that?
Troy.
Sounds like you make your own cocktail there with the cherry, lime, and lemon we got going on. I like
That's
it.
right.
Right? It's gonna smell so good in there.
I'm trying to keep all.
Totally.
Noob says, I can't speak today, and this fucking
It's got you.
cheers. Cherry crescendo, frosty lady. That sounds good. I got to readjust my lights though, because that's the only thing I haven't done is pull down, because I have like a HLG B spec in there right now, and of course, I guess we can use it in veg until they start flowering, but then we'll have to switch it out with our
That's a great veg light.
Lauraflux probably, because I have a couple Lauraflux. So do I have a couple Lauraflux?
No, that's one good thing I can say about growing. If you have the extra lights like you guys do right now, is being able to actually properly power your veg, so that you're not struggling along and taking 8 weeks to veg something that you really could have done in almost half of that time.
People really overlook veg, and it's more important than flower as far as what you're doing in your grow.
Prep them.
I love veg.
Top notch.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. I wanted to mention while we were on the topic, Crescendo is the plant that's in the background of the show. So we're talking about cherry Crescendo. I always was a fan of Crescendo. It's super frosty.
I miss your keeper cut of it.
Yeah.
That was always good stony weed, man.
That was good. I really like that one. So.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I used to grow the peach Crescendo, and I remember I took some out to Rastabab out, when he was in Michigan, and he really, really liked that. So I felt pretty good about that. And I was, I couldn't tell if it was just me that really liked it, or, a lot of my patients had liked it and thought it was pretty potent. So I guess it wasn't just me. I guess it's a good one. So I'm excited to run the cherry, because that's Cherry Garcia mixed with, and Cherry Garcia was one of my favorites also. So Crescendo and Cherry Garcia's. So
are you guys gonna run Jax or Bloom on your indoor?
Jax, baby.
I don't know.
Take over with the Jax.
Maybe Jax. Maybe I'll use their Athena stuff because it's still laying around.
Okay.
Just finish up whatever she's got on the shelves.
I don't know.
I say go with what you know, man, because you want to make this, this is your first run in a new place. You can do the science of it. I'm going to recreate my grow that you've already recreated one other time when you moved. So you took what you had from where you were originally to the house, and now you're setting it up in a third place. Let's see how you do it this time.
It's like every time you set it up, it gets better and better.
That's what I'm
thinking. You learn a lot when you do it and do things a different way and
simplify, streamline.
Yeah. We'll do it different here. Definitely won't be doing like a scrog net and stuff like that. We'll do some different stuff and figure it out. But
let's see how those ladies respond first,
I'm sure you guys have high standards for the plants, so we'll make sure that they look good.
I just want him to do what he's comfortable doing, what he's used to doing, which has always been the Jax. So I figured that was a no-brainer.
Right. And I think it's unrealistic as a goal to set for yourself when you move to a new place and you're setting everything up. Don't expect to knock it out of the park with a grand slam on your first run in a new place with a different.
I'm gonna have that beginner's luck, dude.
I don't know, man. That room
is
a beast over there. That veg room, for whatever reason, it's like the perfect conditions for the plants, and they just. That's why I always end up having those beasts outside, because they just thrive in that environment down there for.
Okay, well then let's do it this way. Throw the gauntlet down and let's see what you can bang out of there versus her, and we can have a small competition out of this.
You never want to compete with your significant other in that.
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
You know what? That's so much personal growth, my friend. I'm so proud of you. You've come so far in 156, weeks.
Well, I talked about this in our private chat with like Blue Kiss and some of the other people in there about the whole grow thing. And when I thought that we were going to do it more collaboratively, I was like, I'm super cool with being hands off and, not taking over and all of that stuff, being supportive and everything. Because with growing, ultimately you got to have one person that makes like certain decisions and stuff like that. So I was well prepared to be like, if you want to decide what those strains are, or, there's a lot of things like, do you want to decide if we're doing a trellis net or yo-yos, or like, there's a lot of different things in a grow that no one thinks about.
Yeah. The key structure of growing.
Yeah. But we've learned through all these shows that every single person's way works in one way or another for them. Yeah,
Right.
it's cool to learn different ways because maybe you take a page out of their book and go, you know what? This really does work fucking better than what I'm doing. Let me just run with
Right.
this for a while. And always just pick and choose parts that, you know, you learn from experience and seeing other people's grows like you did recently. I
Right.
love seeing people's growth.
I was explaining that to my friend in Jersey. I said, you know, I've said this on the show before, but I said it's obvious, but you grow the way you grow. I mean, everyone on this panel grows the way they grow because they think it's the best way, either for their situation or their, you know, their mood or whatever. They think it's the best way. And everyone does that. So if you remember that when you go into a conversation and you go, they're growing this way because they think it's the best way. Maybe I can learn something from that. You know, they're doing it different than me. And you have all these different perspectives on the best way to do it. And it really raises the bar. And we had a good conversation about that for sure.
I think that everyone has become a better grower now, whether that's, you know, serendipitous or, you know, whatever you want to call it. But I think that just being involved in the community, you're going to pick things up through osmosis.
Yeah, I used to say that we had to be better growers because every time we meet up and you want to share your stuff, you
Right.
can't. You're like, oh man, this sucks. You know, I don't want to bust it out next to Spartan stuff or next to Scobo stuff or whatever.
I didn't just grab any jar when I fucking would come to a show. I would be like hands hovering over jars, like, fuck, let's just do that. This is a work.
Or you're smoking all of your bad stuff so that you can bring the good jar to the event to share with everyone.
Busted.
Yeah, you know. But like it's the same thing people talk about. You're like, man, you guys grow so good and you see, you know, all that stuff. But they're comparing the plants they see every day with all their normal plant problems to like your Instagram plants that like you took pictures of the one good one in the corner kind of deal. And everyone forgets that all the time. It's like it's no different for us than it is for you. You know, you got struggling plants and beautiful plants, and you take pictures of the good ones to share with the world.
And that's why we pop more seeds,
Mm-hmm.
or get different clones from people.
Not every plant's perfect.
Not every
here-
plant wants
not
to
every-
thrive the way you've got it set up right now.
Exactly. Not everyone's perfect for your environment.
Yeah, and that's what we always used to talk about with like the Spartan Kick thing, right? Was like you set up your environment the way that you want to grow, and then you start
Mhm.
filtering genetics through, and the ones that agree with your style get to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it doesn't matter how good Mac 1 is. If it's 2 times slower than everything else you want to grow, you can't run it next to them. So,
Aldridge said, "Fuck them plants," and then that's about it too, man. No hard feelings, but I've got too many other things on deck, and I know too many other people with shit that could take that light spot and
mhm.
run with it. My son came home last night, and he was like, "Yo, Pops, check it out." And he's got 3 big gallon bags, and it was from his Auto Flowers outdoor. And he had a GG4 auto, he had a gelato auto, and then a really fucking super dark black purple punch. Said, damn, that turned out nice. But we ended up smoking the gelato last night. So which one's your favorite for your headspace, man? So it's always cool to, you know, when you have adult children and stuff, if they also smoke, to be able to sit down and share a bowl or a joint or whatever it may be, man.
Man, I wish somebody in my family would smoke. Man, all my family members need to smoke. They'd be so much better off. Jesus.
To wind down a little bit, right?
Anybody?
Li-
Okay.
Yeah.
Living down there in Florida, all of them just, oh, man.
Mm-mm.
I think Michigan needs to stop allowing Florida medical cards. Since Florida's like super anti, you know, they're like, oh, nobody use their cards down here except for Florida citizens.
Bullshit.
Oh,
Is it
What the
really?
fuck, dude? Yeah.
Lots of
Like,
states
they're like
don't.
Nah,
Yeah.
2 wrongs don't make a right. I'm all about access. I think you should be able to use a med card from Guatemala if you have one. Fuck
Absolutely.
it.
right.
I
Like, there's
agree.
a shit ton of states that they're like, yeah, fuck, come on, man. Florida's like, nah, dude.
Michigan is reciprocal. There's a lot of them that aren't, and I think that that's
Right.
something to be proud of for us.
Yeah, for sure.
We do have some grow stuff going on in chat. We wanted to mention really quick.
Oh. Let's
Sarah
do it.
Plants was asking if you can have too much light for your plants, and
Oh, yeah.
if
Yeah.
they turned down their lights and got a little bit better results. And I wanted to talk about it real quick. They were using a 600-watt light. It was unspecific on what it was, and a 5x5, which is appropriate. It could have been too close, though, or too powerful, depending on a lot of factors, right? One major thing that'll let you increase your light intensity is CO2. So if you add CO2, your plants will use more light.
And grow more.
And they'll grow more.
No,
And another thing that you mentioned was that some of your plants were in their final days. So it is not surprising that turning down the light was better for them, because you're emulating
Senescing.
outdoor the
Mhm.
fall season when they're getting less light and all of that.
Senescing.
So they're going to respond better to that as well. So hopefully that stuff helps.
Yeah, you can tell, because sometimes, especially in veg for lighting, I had a bunch of quantum board, the 240 watt ones, and it was nice because I could dial in certain plant areas.
Right.
And if you start seeing your plant like cowering from the light, like, ugh, then you've got to do one of two things. If you can't increase the headspace, then you've got to decrease the wattage.
Right. And I like to use the little infrared gun and point it at your leaves, and especially your plants that look bad, and see if they're way hotter than your other plants.
Yeah,
Like
that's
what?
mainly it, because I've
What
got
number?
Well, I just look. So you're looking at your canopy. If all your leaves are like 70 degrees, and then you point your IR thing at your one plant and the leaves are 80 degrees, and you're like, oh, that's why that one's suffering. It's not getting airflow across it, or there's a lot of things you can find by looking for those dead spots in your canopy.
Yeah, your LED light's not necessarily brighter than the sun, so it's probably leaf temperature, not overall brightness.
Right.
So yeah,
That's
if you're
interesting.
lacking, you need more food.
If you're
need
lacking, you're
CO2,
slacking, man.
or it's just too hot, too intense.
Ooh, it's too much K.
I've got two
Over here.
650Rs. I've got two 650Rs on a 5x5. They're both sitting around 900 ppfd. And
Right.
there's not any like yellow leaves or anything. So
Right.
just
It's all
make sure
about
everything
maintaining
else is happy.
condition. Yeah. They have to have the proper nutrients to be able to use the light. So if you don't have enough nutrients in there and you're supercharging the light, it's like, modifying a car and putting like super big slick tires on it and leaving a stock engine in there, and then you break axles, and then you gotta do all the stuff together or it won't work. You can't just supercharge your light and be like, oh, I'm gonna grow a lot better now, and then do everything else the same.
Yeah, light's super important, but it's also like one of the last steps too.
There's a thing called the Lieberg's Law of Minimums. If you Google it, it's a
sounds
picture of a
fancy.
barrel, and it shows all the nutrients. And what it is each of the slats on the barrel is a nutrient, and it's written on there. And it shows that the shortest slat, where is your biggest deficiency, is how full the barrel gets. So it doesn't matter how much calcium you have. If you don't have enough zinc, your plant won't ever grow to its potential. You got to have all of the things to really be able to do it, if that makes sense.
It does. Sometimes we don't talk about this shit enough. You know what I mean? That there's more than just,
Right.
increase wattage, increase plant.
You can have everything and not have enough fresh air return, and your plants aren't getting CO2, and they won't grow. They can have the perfect light, the perfect temperature, perfect nutrients, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize that, because you don't have a CO2 monitor, but you don't have your vents open on your tent or whatever, and they're not getting any actual carbon dioxide.
And then that highlights the fact of how difficult it is for you as a home grower to be able to utilize advice from people, because
Right.
they're not there, and they can only help you in so much as they can help you. Now, one thing you could do is, if you have like an Instagram account or a WhatsApp or whatever you want to do,
Right.
you can do like a video call with somebody, and basically they'll be like, okay, turn it this way. Okay, let me see. Hold on. So I've been
Right.
able to do that in the past, but not
Like,
everybody
how
has
hard is
that
it to answer a question somebody's got when they're like,
Yeah.
my plant's short and here's a picture of a leaf? Like, you're like, I don't know anything about your grow,
Why my plants no grow, fam?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if you're watering 6 times a day or once a week, or there's so many things.
Well, you kind of go with this too. Like, they're like, I've got a fungus gnat problem. It sounds like you've got an overwatering problem.
Right.
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 So some things you can do like a process of elimination, but there's usually more shit involved. We can also talk about if you can have like a lockout issue, where if you're using some kind of janky pH pen and you're fucking farting around with that shit and it's constantly spiking up and down, and you know that's stressful for the plant. Man. You're not going to get
over.
I've never grown worse plants than having a bad pH pen.
Recalibrate your
I don't
tools.
even pH my shit.
Calibrate those on a monthly basis, because
What
man,
is
when
a
you have a
pH?
pH pen that you're relying on, that fucks shit up real fast.
Fortunately, me and you till the end, baby.
So
That's
who the
why I
hell's
love the
pH?
organics. I don't do that anymore, man. But it used to piss me off because, you know, I would buy these Blue Lab pens, which, you know, hey, I'm just my own grower. I'm not a caregiver.
like 'em.
You know, they're fantastic pens, but you know, damn, when it breaks, you're like, fuck, that's another $150 or whatever. I think it was like 138 or some shit for it.
No, I do have.
Then you get tempted, like
ones.
maybe I should buy this $7.98 one off of eBay and just rock it until the wheels fall off. And it's like, well,
buy 5 of
just-
them.
but you're rolling the dice on your plant. They can all 5 be shitty. That doesn't make them
Just
all
make sure
right.
they all stay within a range. You know, you can just use them as all constant.
It's like having 5 dumb kids in a classroom and you put a math thing up where you're like 4 + 2 = one kid says
7.
3, another kid says 9, and the kid that said 3 is mocking the kid who said 9. It's like, no, you're all knuckleheads, man. None of you are where you're supposed to be. Like, this
You
is
just
science.
described our panel.
Well,
Troy just
In
got
a
me
nutshell.
breakfast with something like that. I was like, fuck, I'm so bad at math. I'm that stupid kid that yelled 9.
Something that I wanted to mention is I like using probes that have replaceable tips. So if they do dry out and go bad, you don't have to replace the whole fucking unit. You can just buy just the tips and save
Make
yourself
sure you
there.
calibrate it on a regular basis. That's like huge right there. People don't think about to calibrate. I mean, you think that it's going okay, but sometimes, you know, it can get kicked out of a whack just by the littlest thing. So I'm always big on calibrating everything regularly.
Store it in moisture.
Yeah, and the last thing is like, this seems obvious, but maybe you don't realize it. If you're watering from a specific input every time, like your tap water might vary a little bit, but if you're watering from like RO water and adding nutrients and watering, if suddenly your normal nutrient mixture is reading some whack number on your pH pen, it's probably the pH pen. It's not you needing to add twice as much pH down, you know, to get the right number. You know, it's probably the pH pen that's suddenly off. And
you can't run those fucking RO filters forever. Those have to be replaced after so many gallons. You know, they start fucking up, right?
I've seen a few things in chat about using drops and test strips, and those will work good if you have nutrients that are clear. The problem is most cannabis nutrients have colors to them, and they will really deviate what your result is going to be on a test strip. If you're looking for an orange bubble and you've got brown liquid in there, you know.
Yeah, think of the gods. I mean, some of that stuff is like thick and creamy, and some is just black like molasses.
The nectar, right? Nectar of the
yeah.
god.
That's like
But
all
even a lot of
yellow
them
vibes.
will be pink or brown or whatever, and that's going to really.
Or if you have any kind of fish emulsion or anything jumping off in there.
Recharge gets pretty dirty too.
Recharge stains shit for sure.
Oh gosh,
100%.
rubbing that off.
Put it in my blue resin. It's like nice and brown now.
Sprinkle it up medium instead.
Got it in my shower. Shower's got some brown spots in it.
So that's from Recharge, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That nice spray pattern.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never fart in the shower, dude.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
This is the kind of things we've missed while you've been gone, Sequence.
That's right.
Since this show's been gone.
Yeah.
Can we get some chat? Can we get some love for actually getting our shit together enough to pull one of these wake and bakes off?
We had to do it when we were coming back from both of us being gone, and we're like, we might as well do it once.
Well, you know, we're coming up on like the last 11 minutes, and Astro Charlie hasn't really been able to.
I know.
He's just been smiling.
I'm
Your
just gonna,
cheeks
like,
hurt.
yeah.
So baked. I'm so baked.
Oh, so
I took a couple of dabs early.
how fucked up I got on Astro Charlie's edibles and had to call Becca crying.
What?
Yeah, Tara did. Waste.
I got a bad.
Wow.
It's a learning experience. It's like I made a MCT oil infusion from hash rosin pucks,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, okay, it's just infused edible. No, it's strain dependent, right? So they're both Rainbow Cushman's. That was one of the strains, and then there was Oreos. Oreos is like zoomy. It's like having a cup of coffee, and Rainbow Cushman's is like that super head heavy, like high. And that combined in an edible is not a sleepy time thing. It's like super high coffee,
Oh,
So I had the same experience. I woke up at like 3 a.m. just gnawing my teeth and like, whoa.
Itchy.
And I got the same message from Tara. Like the next day,
Vibing.
she's like, "What did you put in this?"
That's so funny.
well, I came
Um,
to work and I had a really long day and I was super tired and I wanted to make sure that I was going to sleep all night. Well, I'd been getting some edibles from a friend at work and they had been helping me sleep all night. So I'm like, I'm going to do 2 brownies of edibles. No,
Two.
Oh fuck.
oh, these are gonna put me straight.
This
So
is so
I'm in
funny.
the middle of eating dinner and I'm like, look up at Troy and I was like, holy fuck. I ate 2 edibles and I was like, they're just kicking in. I said, and I do not feel good.
Were these,
Oh,
were
no.
these the Halloween brownies?
Racing and I was paranoid. I was freaking out. I almost ain't taking
Tara,
the
come back.
hospital. I was
But
freaking out.
Tara, we've been doing these shows for
that
years,
says a
Tara.
lot. I feel like.
No.
Do you realize how many shows we've had about Tara eating something that gave her a bad experience?
That's usually mushrooms.
Usually mushroom
Mushroom.
chocolate.
RSO.
Or,
Oh, you get bonus points if it's mushrooms in a tent, Tara.
Well, the
But I-
Those are your roughest rides.
we've had more than a handful of shows of Tara being like, I ate too much.
I mean, it happens.
It's so funny.
How do you know
You
your
just want it
limits?
to work, right?
Yeah, you
Okay,
want it to
so
work
let's go back to
hard.
these. What do we do to make these then? How strong do you think these were?
I label at 100 milligrams each. I'd say that they were over, probably like
Did you
120.
forget to carry the 0 and carry?
No,
Oh,
like I don't. I think that's why that was the
Decimal place.
blend. I
1.2
honestly think it was
grams.
the blend.
really, because I think it was more sativa leaning, and that's why
Yeah.
I did. Heart was racing. I definitely think
That shit's unpleasant, man.
Yeah,
Like we
Yeah.
laugh about it and joke about it because either we've been there and we go, "Whew, I'm so glad that wasn't me," or you've never been there and you're like, "That'll never happen to me." Fuck
No,
around
I
and
felt
find
really
out.
Yeah, wait
bad.
till you get
Yeah.
there.
it can get you.
I had 2 the next day, and I was
Good
super-
morning, Blue Kiss.
It's good for the daytime. But
Oh, is
yeah, everything I made gummies later that were like 10 milligrams each, and I still will tell people it's an energy blend. I haven't made another
Energy blend.
thing. Yeah, I really think it's strain dependent
Morning blend.
right now. Yeah. I enjoy it, but not for sleep. Yeah.
But your dabs are
For
certainly
sure.
really good.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, they are.
Something I
Yeah.
noticed, I wear like a sleep tracking thing. And when I was in Jersey, I had a bunch of RSO and I was taking RSO capsules for bed.
Oh boy.
And the days that I took RSO capsules, my sleep quality went from like what it's normally 90% to literally 7%. And it said it caused a lot of heart rate variability in my sleep. Like my heart rate was all over the place. I felt like I slept good, like I never woke up, but like it was like straight in the red from being green. And the next day I didn't take any, all the way back to 90%. I was like, that's kind of interesting.
So what do you think on that?
I think that what it does is taking a ton of the cannabinoids slows your heart rate down. And I think that it's kind of reading that as a stress response. Like it thinks that I'm sick or something. But it's not that. It's not the case. But
Mhm.
I think that it's just relaxing you more. And what it does is it reads my heart rate and it goes, you might be sick or you might be stressed or whatever. And I think that it keys off of that. But it was an interesting observation looking at the week and looking at the days I took it. Every day was like spiked all the way in the red.
Now, to do the science side of that, if you took that same dose but 12 hours earlier in the day, I wonder if it would
Right.
still give you goofy readings.
Right. It was interesting. Of course, we're talking like, 0.8 grams of RSO. So like 600 milligrams of THC.
Yeah, good bedtime dosage.
A lot, yeah.
You said that you woke up the next morning
Yeah, I woke up stoned the first day I took it.
Well, fuck yeah.
You know what? that dosage is something that if all else fails for my migraines, boom.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Because I know at least if nothing else, I'm going to be able to sleep, and hopefully when I wake back up, this shit'll be gone.
I'm always fucked up for a good 12 hours.
Dude,
so
yeah.
a capsule like that.
I
So
took
I
a
gotta make
capsule,
sure I don't
slept for
have-
a bunch of hours, ate a whole fucking pizza, and then went back to sleep for a bunch of hours, dude.
I'll
No,
eat
no,
a whole
whole
pizza.
capsules
Whole
for me.
pizza.
Oh
There's a
shit!
fucking half capsule. That's for me.
Good time.
Porch, I ate a whole pizza and a fry.
Yeah,
And a
dude.
medium fry.
Fuck yeah. See, you're a little bit bigger than me, remember?
I'm getting big, man.
Yeah, it's because all that fucking fancy food and hotels and shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Eating like a king. You ever
I
seen
ate
a skinny
out for
king?
3 weeks.
A skinny king, right?
I was, but
Kings.
not anymore.
Yeah, back to reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want
We're
to
gonna
get
go eat.
to.
We're gonna go eat brunch at our favorite place, Tara, right after this show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I love that place. It's so yummy.
Yeah, they have a new thing on the menu. Instead of just chicken and waffles, it's chicken and biscuit, but it's got like a jalapeno jelly.
Ooh.
And that,
Have you
and
had it yet?
it's
No, we got the okay symbol for that one. That's
I bought it when it
Bye-bye.
was like right on the menu. They're like, "This is it's amazing."
their new version.
Oh, how
of
is
chicken
that
waffles.
jelly? How is the jelly?
Oh, it's so delicious. It's a little spicy, but it's like a marmalade kind of, but with diced jalapenos in it. And
Mhm.
oh, it's so good with the chicken, and then the biscuit has like a honey type of, what is it? I don't remember.
It's
but
really
it's-
good. It's kind
so
of like
good on
a
the menu.
candied jalapeno jelly. Like
Yeah.
the jalapeno diced parts, they're not like super spicy. They're kind of candied and
I just
tasty.
want to know how they make that fucking chicken.
I know.
I
It's
wanna
so
know.
good.
I mean, it's amazing.
We're gonna have some mimosas.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for the Michigan game later.
Oh, well, okay.
I want to give a shout out to Baked and Dinkman Dan. They couldn't make it this morning. Missing them. Hopefully, they'll
Yeah.
make it to the next one.
I hope that Baked is with us tomorrow night for the show.
I hope so too.
I just want to say
Charlie, I
before we
see your
leave-
kitten.
I've got some of his Creature Panic. Oh my gosh, I am just in love with this.
Astro Charlie's cat.
George. He's got the zoomies, I think.
Oh.
Oh. Sorry, Terry, I didn't cut you off. I saw a kitten.
Oh, that's okay. I was
I
just
got
talking
distracted by the pussy.
panic.
That'll happen.
Easily distracted.
That'll happen.
You know, as I come to the end of this joint, we come up to the end of the show. I hope everybody has had a chance now to find themselves a little bit more awake and definitely more abake.
Yeah, I
And,
hope you're all lifted.
Yeah, man. Have a positive fucking day out of here.
Yes.
Take this good energy and fucking let it lift your wings.
Drop
Yeah.
us a comment on this thing. Let us know what your favorite part of the show was. We're happy to be back and do it.
We
I
don't
don't
know
have-
when we'll do it again.
Future, so
You know,
baby right there. Making sure. Part of the
we don't want to get your hopes up before we get the fuck out of here. Like, oh, they're coming back. They'll be back. Like, well, you know, when
Yeah.
the stars align and everybody's
Another
scheduled-
month or two, we'll do another Wake and Bake show, but we'll be back tomorrow night for sure, and night after. So thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, man.
Have a good one.
We get to